I'll give you a few minutes to join me here. The wind is kicking up, so I don't know how long I'll be able to sit outside, but it's such a nice day. I don't want to be inside if I don't have to be. So I have a little while to take some questions and expand a little bit on the last couple of lives I did about Pluto personal planets, Mars, Pluto, and Sun, Pluto. There were more questions and uh, a few things left hanging. So I was thinking about Pluto all day today because it's such a fascinating topic. In fact, if you put in anything into YouTube or into the internet concerning Pluto, you'll see so many more pings, so much more interest than for any other planet, any other subject. It's just so intriguing because it's the darkness, it's the dark side, it's the sexy beast of the solar system. So it makes sense why we're so fascinated. It's the abyss, the darkness. And Pluto is a lot of what we pay for. We spend big money. Plutonic subjects and experiences. So there's two sides to every planet. There's the evolved and the devolved side. And the devolved side with Pluto is obvious. And suffering. Devolution. But the other side is incredible strength that comes through turning crap into gold. Because it's the collective crap. It's all the crap that our family handed to us, generations handed to us, what has accumulated over the course of time through the hard knocks of life, and sometimes worse. So we take that crap, that collective crap, we take the crap that was handed to us, what was done to us, what we experienced, and we transmute it, we turn it into something valuable. Something that is worth passing on. This is the most beautiful part of Pluto. It's the crap that we pass on, but if we really, really do our good work, it's the gold. It's the generational wealth that you pass on. This is a thing with Pluto, is when you heal your Pluto pain, when you really, really heal it, you really heal it. You don't just talk about it. You turn your generational trauma and your generational suffering into generational wealth. And that happens on all levels. That happens materially, that happens spiritually, that happens emotionally. We become this incredible generator and contributor of riches and wealth. And how did we do it? We made something out of nothing because we're a goddamn magician. Someone who heals from Pluto is an alchemist. You're a magician. I mean, who else can turn crap into gold? Suffering into treasure. And what you leave cannot be destroyed. It's this glimmer. Yeah. It's the best part of us that survives. It's the best part of us. It is this incredible legacy. And it was the worst part of us. Isn't that something? The worst can become the best. It's how we redeem ourselves. And when you redeem yourself, when you heal yourself, when you stop being representative of all of the difficult stuff that has come before you, you redeem not just yourself, but your entire generational line before you. Everybody that came before you is in gratitude because you were the redeemer. This is why we really, really have to work on our Pluto problems when we have Mars, Pluto, Sun Pluto, or Moon Pluto stuff going on. You are the redeemer of your generational line, and they are waiting for you. It's the chance for those who have sinned against others and hurt themselves and others around them to see the end of it and to be forgiven. Because you must forgive them. You must forgive yourself. You must forgive yourself down to your very cells to do your true Pluto work. And in so doing, you forgive to the fiber, the very fiber of your being. And that's when we truly change on the deepest level, on a cellular level. And what we pass on, not just through our words, our actions, but our actual cells, what we pass on to our own children, is that gold. It's not what we didn't want done to us. It's what we would want done to us. And what we consciously want to do unto others. It's our gift. Healing and forgiving ourselves is the gift that we give to the world, and it is our community service. You want to do the best kind of community service? Heal yourself. It's our gift to society. It's our offering. Because you don't know who is watching. You don't know who you're going to influence. And typically, it's not going to be through telling people what we've done. It's going to be through living out our life in the way where we embody healing. We embody Pluto power, not Pluto pain. So I think I have one question here. Let me take a look. Hey, Anne. Transiting Jupiter in your second. You've gained a lot of weight. I remember that one. Can I lose it with Jupiter in the third, even if there's stress? What other transits cause it? Jupiter in the third, yes, absolutely. This is going to help because Jupiter in the third means we're running about. We have many options. We have luck where we have transit and multiplicity. Oh, so don't worry about it. Typically, Jupiter in the third, it's good if we have a little bit of padding because we run a little bit ragged. Jupiter goes fast. In the second house, see, what we're doing is we are indulging. Jupiter's indulgence. We're indulging in our senses when it's going through the second. So it's our job to eat too much. It's our job to stay in the shower too long. It's our job to get a massage membership and to to experience more luxury. We're having a blessing in the area of life where we have abundance and senses. So generally, it'll take care of itself as it goes through that area of life. Yeah, we start biking, traveling, using up more energy in general. Yeah. That's a fun place for Jupiter to be. Jupiter in the fifth also is a lot of fun. Jupiter in the seventh has some good things to say about it. And of course, Jupiter through the ninth. I mean, everybody's going to love that. Jupiter through the 11th and through the first, that's a rip-roaring good time. Those are ones to look forward to. That's where we're at our most expansive and we can get away with pushing some limits or some envelopes in ways that are beneficial, not plutonic ways. So we might, have to pay really bad penalties. And generally with Jupiter, the penalties we're paying are maybe backpedaling or having to go on a diet or bringing things back down to reality. When I do my Sun Jupiter video, which I was thinking I might do tomorrow, I'll bet you I don't get one single comment on that video about me projecting. I'll bet not, because that one is so positive and so fun. Everybody wants Jupiter Sun contacts. So, yeah, on my hard aspect videos, on every single one of them, scroll down, you'll see. You'll see at least a few comments telling me that I am just projecting, which I mean, I must be the queen of projection because I apparently project every single aspect in astrology. So let me see. Do we have any other questions here? Hey, Venusian stud. What do you make of double whammy Neptune conjunctions in synastry? Neptune's a part of love stellium and composite. Don't worry about that. Everybody has Neptune conjunctions in a certain um, generation. Everybody within a 14-year period of time about will have Neptune in the same sign. So to have a conjunct just means that you're born around the same close period of time. So in itself, don't worry about it. Let's see. Hey, Ariana. As a Pluto person, your talks got me thinking, aren't non-Plutonians more fortified than Plutonians? We're the ones who perceive situations in the most tragic ways. Non-Plutonians typically won't. No, I don't know that we're fortified. Okay, yeah, we're fortified in the sense that we are behind a fortress. We are fortressed. But It depends on how you use it. See, the thing is Pluto can make you absolutely the most intelligent or the dumbest. Because intelligence and being smart are not the same thing. There are lots of smart people that are not intelligent. They have good recall, they can pass tests, they have a variety of knowledge. But having a lot of knowledge, being quick, having good memory, having a large degree, big degree or a lot of degrees, that is not intelligence. That's being smart. That means you can read the lines probably pretty well. But when you're intelligent, intelligence means that you can read between the lines. You can see what something actually is. And this is what healed Pluto people do. They read between the lines. That's hard to do when you're unhealed, when you have unhealed Pluto. You can do that a good amount of time or sometimes with unhealed Pluto because you're wired to look for bullshit and sometimes you're going to pick it up. But even a broken clock is right twice a day. And this is where we can go wrong with unhealed Pluto stuff because, yeah, we can pick up on what's off, but unless our bullshit meter is more balanced towards allowing in obvious truths and not looking more towards suspicion and erring on the side of suspicion because not everything is suspicious. Some things are plain, some things are easy, some things are clear. And so we have to come to know the difference. And it's when we can come to know the difference that we truly can know the difference between things. We can truly read between the lines. So there's book smarts and then there's street smarts. Intelligence lends itself more towards street smarts. Smartness, more towards book smarts. Ideally, we want to have both in our life. We want to have both knowledge. We want to be smart. We want to know things. But we also want to be intelligent and be able to see the goddamn difference between things and see things as they really are. So we're not just believing what we're reading. We're able to understand it and comprehend it, which is something we're missing right now at this point in time in history. This used to be this wasn't a novel concept. Okay. Let's see. I'll take a couple more questions here and then, oh, guys, I am so tired. I just want to grab my girls and go take a long walk in the woods and then get in the hot tub. So I'll take a few more questions here and I'm going to sign off. Okay, I don't think I have a lot. Oh, Venusian studs. So that Neptune is conjunct Sun and Venus in the composite chart. The conjunction of Sun, Venus, and Neptune is or in synastry, or in composite. That is a more likely good match with the conjunction than with the square Oh, in what? In Sinistry and Composite. Woo! Okay. Well, you're looking at layers here. You're looking at a lot of sugar. The square or the opposition are much, much more difficult and more obvious red flags when you see that triple conjunction in a composite or even in Sinistry. Oh, Venusian said Sun is conjunct Neptune in Sinistry and in the composite. You need to be careful. You need to be really careful. You need to make sure that what you're seeing is what's actually happening. Because the likelihood, oh God, Mercury's there. You've got everything in there. The likelihood that you're going to be seeing what you want to be seeing instead of seeing what's actually happening is extremely high. You're probably going to be starting out at level 10 chemistry and attraction and projection. And there ain't no place to go but down when we start relationships out that way. The likelihood of compatibility tends to be pretty low when we have that's that kind of thing in a composite or a synastry. You're going to have to look at Saturn. What are the grounding factors? Are there any? Um, how does the material world and practical life play into this? And if there's some substance there, if there is compatibility, relationships that have that much sugar, that much idealism in them, they can last sometimes if there's substance. Because once that bubble pops, if there isn't substance, if it's all sugar, there's nothing left. There's nothing else to do. It's done. It's over. We blame each other for not being everything that we wanted, and for lying to each other, and you hoodwinked me, and the whole thing. But if there's substance there, and we have two mature people, when the bubble pops, or when we realize we've really got here, and that it's not what we thought we had, sometimes we can still work with it. We can still justify investing in it. Not all is lost. And you said that you have what, moon opposite Saturn? I think you said moon opposite Saturn. That's going to be moon opposite Saturn and composite. So that could be very grounding. That could be the thing that's the tether to reality, because that's actually an extremely good uh, material emotional tie, like it's showing that what you need emotionally, you're able to agree upon, and it is provided materially. So the reason why you both need a home, comfort, safety, security, that's being provided. The shell, the home, the structure, the continuity. There's a good balance here of emotional needs, and what are you both mutually doing to provide for those needs to be met in real life. This could be what provides some amount of substance, compatibility, or justification for when you realize that, oh, you're not everything I ever thought I was going to have in a partner, and you've got some human qualities I'm going to have to figure into my life, um, and you're going to see what you got. But we don't know with a Neptunian relationship, we don't know what our opinion is going to be or what we've really got until the bubble pops. And then we have to reassess. For most people, it's not gonna continue. For some people, it can. Sometimes you can see the occasional Sun Neptune square even in a composite chart, and you can have a successful long term relationship. But typically, you're going to have a lot of practical grounding Saturn or substance that is there. So when you do realize that the other person ain't the end all be all, there's still reasons to stay together. There's still a general compatibility. All right, so one more. Hey, peonies. Okay, one more question here. Sarah, I'm so obsessed with someone I have Pluto on the cusp with in the composite. With what in the composite? Is this mutual? I am Plutonic, but they have almost no Pluto in their chart. So, okay, so your nature is going to be a little foreign to them if they don't have that same Plutonic drive that you do. Um, Sometimes people can find us a little intense and they might not put up with our Pluto problems if they aren't working out their own Pluto problems. Typically, Pluto people are drawn to other Pluto people or people that are on their level when it comes to their healing needs. Oh, okay, Sarah. So it's Pluto on the ascendant. Okay, well, yeah, the Pluto as the Pluto person, we do tend to want to have a great amount of influence and sometimes control over the ascendant person. It depends on how we're using our Pluto. Some people are more judicious than others, but it does create this intense attraction, physical attraction, even to the persona, the physical self, that first layer of personality in the ascendant person. Yeah, and beyond that, I mean, it that's a sticky one. It will have you thinking about somebody quite a bit. And we do tend to have a magnetic attraction. So, sweetie, you're going to have to maybe pull your heart back and have your feelings and your expectations and your ideas about the future build in accordance with how the relationship is actually building, what you're actually practically seeing. Don't let your heart or your your ideals run ahead of you before you see if there's actually substance that's building here. Because as a Pluto person, it's very, very hard to pull back once we are invested in somebody or once we're attracted to somebody. So be careful where you put your attention. You deserve everything that you want. You don't have to settle for something that isn't available to you. Lena, do I have any thoughts on composite Pluto opposite Saturn in the third house? You have pretty awesome charts. Stellium in the 10th house with Sun conjunct Venus. You don't have to really look at that very much. You don't have to look at outer planets in composite charts the same way that you're looking at inner planets or inner planets to outer planets in composite charts. That's showing like one of the base notes in the relationship, and that's not a bad thing to have that particular opposition. It is showing that there's a undercurrent of resistance when it comes to changes that will need to be made. The chemistry, the dynamic between the two of you, Pluto is going to want to burn through which is changes, going to want to burn through the normalcy that Saturn's representing, the regularity, the commitment, the contract that you've come to. And so we have to allow for that. If we resist it, we get into trouble. That's where we have this mounting tension between two people, because we have this bigger, broader need for reform within the relationship. And what we've always been doing, or what we've all already agreed to, that has to give. And so if we don't agree to allow some of these changes and updates that are very much based on growth and who we are now into the relationship, but we don't have some kind of negotiation or acknowledgement that, hey, who we are at 40 is not who we were at 20. Do we still want to relate to each other the same way, or do we want to update our contract, our agreement? So if we agree to do that, we can avoid the tension. But if we don't, and we resist it because it's scary to come back to the drawing board and to really look at things and see where are we now, and if we don't do that Saturn work, then it creates a tension. It's like an earthquake where the two plates grind on each other, and that eventually we will have a release of that tension. And that's when we have to update, go back to the drawing board. And we don't want to do that, because that's where we have more seismic conflict in a relationship that has been building for decades. So generally with that opposition, you're not going to see the worst of it unless it is something that, unless it's a longer term relationship, or you've been together long enough to have that those two major plates of relationship really grind up against each other enough to where you have to have that seismic release. So yeah, I have to think about what is the kind of relationship you want. And if you've changed, are the updates that you need in tune with who the other person is? And have they changed? So you need to revisit each other and find out who each other is now. Okay, I think I'm going to sign off. I think that's it. All right, guys. It was good to see you. I will check in with you maybe tomorrow. Not, I don't know. We'll have to. What is tomorrow? Thursday. Maybe. We'll see. All right. You guys have a good day.